Now, here is your host, Walt Disney.
Our first dog star was Pluto. A lot of you probably remember Pluto, and right now I want you to meet the stars of our latest dog picture. Lady and the Tramp. Now, Lady and the Tramp has really been a fun picture to make. I remember another picture as being fun to make. That was Dumbo. Now, Lady and the Tramp has that same quality. It was an original story to start with, and as we made the picture and got to know the characters, we kept getting new ideas. And we had the full leeway to expand them because there wasn't any set storyline. Now, that's what I mean by this being a fun picture. Now, we've had a lot of requests from people who want to know how we put our pictures together. So for this part of the program, I want to give you an idea of how we went about making Lady and the Tramp. Well, first we must find our stars. And being a dog picture, we naturally looked at a lot of dogs. And they were a mighty appealing bunch. Almost any of them had what it takes to be a star. But we finally decided that this little charmer was the perfect choice for Lady. And that this fellow was far and away our best bet to play the Tramp. Now we have to get a story for them. Now at our studio, we don't write our stories, we draw them. Now this particular story unit is made up of Joe Rinaldi, Joe's an idea and sketch man, and Ed Penner, writer and director of the story unit.
In making a full-length cartoon feature in CinemaScope, it takes perhaps 50 of these storyboards and thousands of sketches. Here we have a condensed version of the story that we put together especially for this show. Lady and the Tramp is a sort of a dog's eye view of life. Dog meets dog, dog loses dog, and of course dog gets dog. As the title indicates, our principles come from widely separated walks of life. Lady, who lives in a better section of town, is a refined young Cocker Spaniel who takes her household duties quite seriously, for she's been coached in all the niceties of canine etiquette by her two neighbors, Jock, an elderly Scottie who's rather inclined to judge other dogs by the length of their pedigrees, and an aging bloodhound named Trusty, who unfortunately is losing his sense of smell. Across the tracks, far from the Kennel Club set, lives the Tramp. He's an all-American dog, a mongrel, and a rugged individualist, for he wears no man's collar. As the Tramp puts it, when you're footloose and collar-free, you get nothing but the best. It's a new baby that brings these two together, for when the baby arrives, Aunt Sarah moves in, bag and baggage. The baggage being two Siamese cats with a talent for getting into mischief and getting Lady blamed for it. When Aunt Sarah slaps a muzzle on her, Lady becomes panic-stricken, bolts down the street, with every stray in the neighborhood yapping at her heels. Luckily, our hero sees the lady in distress and comes to her rescue. The Tramp talks a beaver into removing the muzzle, and then takes Lady for a night on the town to show her a dog's life can be fun. There's dinner at Tony's, an old friend of the Tramp's, a stroll through the park, and then, just for laughs, a little chicken chasing, which results in our Park Avenue debutante landing in the dog pound with an assortment of unsavory characters. Lady is brought home in disgrace. And now the villain enters, a rat who has always wanted to get into the house. Lady's helpless to stop him, and he enters the nursery window. The Tramp, who is coming over to apologize, arrives just in time to rush in and take care of him. Aunt Sarah, of course, misunderstands, and accusing the Tramp of attacking the baby, she sends for the dog catcher. But Jock and Trusty discover the truth and manage to intercept the wagon before it reaches the pound. So the Tramp is saved, and as our story ends, we find our hero a reformed character, a family man, complete with collar and license.
The next phase of putting it on film takes us to the director's unit. It is the director's job to coordinate all phases in the making of the picture and follow it through from start to finish. This is Clyde Geronimi, one of the three directors on Lady and the Tramp. Tom Kodrick, the art director and layout artist, and Wooly Reitherman, one of the key animators. Jerry's assigning a scene to Wooly for animation, and they're discussing how it should go.
Now, right here, Cramp's in a tight spot. These tough dogs have him down and he's really outnumbered. Now, the problem is to get him out of this jam. What do you think?
I feel the Tramp could have a light attitude towards this fight. He can handle twice this number.
What if he bit the big curl on the leg like this?
Starts down here at the bottom and works his way right up the top.
Real rapid-fire action. Swell. Now we get him to free-for-all. Got the way out, Tom? Okay, now this has to be a real knockdown, drag-out pattern. Make it exciting.
We could get a good dramatic effect here by having part of the fight behind the barrels.
And have shadows of the dogs cast on the wall.
Okay, let's run through this scene with sound effects for timing.
Well, that's how a director plans a scene with an animator and layout artist. Now our dog actors have to be made to talk. Here are the voices of three important characters in Lady and the Tramp. Lady herself, Barbara Luddy. Jock the Little Scotty, by Bill Thompson. Old Trusty the Bloodhound, by Bill Baucom. This particular scene is being directed by Ed Penner and Wilfred Jackson.
It didn't hurt, really. But Darling has never struck me before.
Now, Lassie, do not take it too seriously. After all, at a time like this...
Why, yes. You see, Miss Lady, there comes a time in the life of all humans when, well, as they put it, the birds and the bees, the stork.
What he's trying to say, Lassie, is Darling is expecting a wee bairn.
Bairn?
He means a baby, Miss Lady.
Oh, what's a baby?
That's good. Say, Barbara,
Yes?
that line of yours, what's a baby? Just repeat it several different ways, will you please?
All right.
Okay, roll it. NW 2062, take 2.
What's a baby? What's a baby? What's a baby? What's a baby?
This is Frank Thomas, one of our key animators. He's making the drawings that will animate part of the dialogue scene we have just heard recorded. He's not just making faces in the mirror for fun. He's mouthing the words as he hears them. Then he sketches the position of his mouth so that the character he's drawing will appear to be saying the words.
Well, let's see what we've got here now. By flipping these drawings at the same time that we play the record on the playback machine, we get a pretty fair idea of what we're going to see on the screen. I'll show you.
What's a baby? What's a baby?
Now, here's Trusty, the old bloodhound.
They're mighty sweet.
And here's Jock, the little Scotty.
And very, very soft.
Let's look in on Milt Call, another of our key animators, who's been teaming up with Frank Thomas on Lady and the Tramp right from the start of the picture. Right now, Milt is drawing the Tramp, who, of course, is our hero. He's going to show you how he and Frank developed the character of the Tramp.
Well, first we thought of the Tramp with one black eye. Thought he'd be kind of cute. Sort of a tough little guy from across the tracks. But he didn't have a certain debonair quality that we thought the character should have. And here's a good-looking fellow, but he takes life too seriously. No sense of humor. And here we have the sense of humor, all right, but he's too big and clumsy. Lady wouldn't want to go out with him. He didn't have to be a slicker, though, but we wanted a real good four-pawed he-dog. Well, this is what we finally wound up with. Now, this is the first time we see the Tramp in the picture. We pick him up down the railroad yards, sound asleep in a barrel. Then the train whistle wakes him up, and he yawns and stretches. goes over to the puddle of water, takes a drink, then he takes his morning shower.
What a day. Well, now to dig up some breakfast.
Well, now suppose we see how boy meets girl, or dog meets dog in our story.
It didn't hurt, really. But darling has never struck me before.
Now, lassie, dinna take it too seriously. After all, at a time like this, there's...
Why, yes. You see, Miss Lady, there comes a time in the life of all humans when, well, as they put it, the birds and the bees, or, well, the stork, you know, no. Well,
What he's trying to say, lassie, is darling is expecting a wee bairn.
Bairn?
He means a baby, Miss Lady.
Oh. What's a baby?
Well, they resemble humans.
But I'd say a mite smaller.
Aye, and they walk on all fours.
And if I remember correctly, they beller a lot.
Aye, and they're very expensive. You will not be permitted to play with it.
But they're mighty sweet.
And very soft.
Just a cute little bundle of trouble. Yeah. They scratch, pinch, pull ears. Ah, but shucks, any dog can take that. It's what they do to your happy home. Move it over, will you, friend? Home wreckers, that's what they are.
Look here, laddie. Who are you to barge in?
The voice of experience, Buster. Boy, just wait till Junior gets here. You get the urge for a nice, comfortable scratch and put that dog out. He'll get fleas all over the baby. You start barking at some strange mutt. Stop that racket, you'll wake the baby. And then they hit you in the room and board department. Oh, remember those nice, juicy cuts of beef? Forget them. Leftover baby food. And that nice, warm bed by the fire. A leaky doghouse.
Oh, dear.
Dinna listen, lassie. No human is that cruel.
Of course not, Miss Lady. Why, everybody knows a dog's best friend is his human.
Oh, come on now, fellas. Oh, you haven't fallen for that old line now, have you?
Aye, and we've no need for mongrels and radical ideas. Off with you now. Off with you. Off with you.
Okay, Sandy.
The name's Jock.
Okay, Jock.
Heather lad of Glencairn to you.
Okay. But remember this, Pigeon. A human heart has only so much room for love and affection. When a baby moves in, the dog moves out.
You have seen how we make the cartoons move and talk. Now, like all actors, they must have backgrounds to work in. These painted backgrounds are the equivalent of the sets used in live-action motion pictures. The background painter is guided by the layout, which shows the scene in detail. This is going to be the background for the scene where Tramp talks the beaver into removing Lady's muzzle. Now that the background is all painted, model cells are placed over it to check the complete setup. The thousands of drawings that have been animated go to the inking department to be transferred in ink to sheets of celluloid. From here they go to the painters who paint in the inked areas on the reverse side. And finally, they go before the cameras where they are photographed in CinemaScope and in color. Let's join Lady and the Tramp again. Lady has been muzzled by Aunt Sarah. Panic-stricken, she runs away and is chased by 3 mongrel dogs. Now this is where our hero, the Tramp, comes to her rescue.
Hey, Pidge, what are you doing on this side of the tracks? I thought you... Oh, you poor kid. Oh, we've got to get this off. I think I know the very place. Come on.